brown sky. I'll play with your pool. I'll play with your pool, yeah. I wanna play with your pool. I'll talk about your pool down.
To another episode of the Quack Shack podcast. Thank you for listening, liking, viewing, subscribing, whatever you do to consume this content. Appreciate you doing that. We are in
Mount Vernon, Texas.
Mount Vernon. Is it still Mount Vernon?
Yeah, we're in Mount Vernon.
It's still in Mount Vernon, Texas, here at East Texas Retrievers with Mr. Nathan Wafford. What's going on, man?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. It's been a long time coming, though.
No.
We've talked about it for a while.
We have.
Sure.
I think you're probably the longest person we've talked about having on and not had on, and I'm glad we're finally getting it on. At least we're getting it on the tour. We're getting more special treatment.
It's a little bit better.
We've been telling you. We said, hey, just wait. We're gonna get you on
hold
something
up a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna get you something better here.
Yeah. So, born and raised here in Mount Vernon, and I imagine.
Oh yeah, my whole family, grandparents, dad, mom, both sides actually.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, been here for a while.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All cousins and everything over here in Mount Vernon.
The whole family. Y'all just run Mount Vernon.
Well, we're getting pretty close to Arkansas here, so you know, and they're homeschooled too. So
Yeah, that's right.
you know, didn't get to meet many people. So
yeah. So let's just dive right into East Texas Retrievers. I've known you for a little bit. Jackson's known you for
a couple years,
a long time. What made you? Actually, let's dive into your background first, about your hunting and background. Who got you into waterfowl hunting or hunting in general?
Hunting in general would be my dad. We did a lot of deer hunting when we were younger.
Yeah.
He started us out with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
The finger tab.
Oh heck yeah.
The release. Yeah, the release was like a sin to have a release.
Yeah.
I remember the first time we got a release, we felt bad about it. And so a lot of deer hunting, and then we. My brothers thought it would be cool to go squirrel hunting. Yeah. And I wasn't like, no, that ain't that cool to me. I'd rather shoot a deer. So I went with them one morning, and they started jump shooting ducks on the pond. I was like, hey, that's not too bad of a deal. Yeah. This is more of my style. So we did that for like a year. Yeah. You just jump shot everything. I thought it was the best thing ever. I don't even think
like cattle ponds and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had like 20 of them. We go hit.
No decoys, nothing. Just
I think
jump.
Anybody who's ever duck hunted in general has jump shot a pond before.
If you didn't do that to start out with, you don't really appreciate duck hunting.
No,
not at all.
Dude, some of the best days ever, though, were being young. I mean, for me, I started out hunting, but when I got to the age where I could go do it myself, it was 100% just jump shooting ponds. Just walk into ponds, shooting, move to the next one.
It's still a lot of fun to do.
Oh, dude.
No, yeah, it is.
Last day of the season?
Every year, dude. Last day of the season, you gotta go bust them out.
So what about after that?
So that was kind of the Duck Commander time frame.
Yeah.
You know, the Duck Commander videos are coming out. It was kind of cool. So we were like, hey, let's try setting up on them. Yeah. We had this one pond that we would spook up or jump up like a bunch of ducks. And so let's just set up there one morning. So we made like this makeshift blind, threw it together, set behind the lumber, the wood, whatever. And we shot like 4 or 5. We thought it was the greatest thing ever. No decoy, just came in and we shot them. And so we had a buddy. His name was Wiley Howard. One of my good childhood friends, and he had a 50-gallon drum. So he would cut it in half, go out, paddle in this barrel, and get the ducks for us. So that was
skinny guy.
Yeah, he was real small.
Real small guy.
Good balance, though.
Yeah.
I never
gotta have good balance.
Have you ever tried to go get? I mean, I've been in the situation.
We tried
to go do a jet sled multiple times, and
jet sled
does not work. Does not work.
This dude was a professional.
Yeah.
He was better than any dog.
It's an art.
I'm in there like this.
Hey, it's an art. It really is.
No, for real. I tried it like one time. I was like, no.
You think you have good balance getting a small jet sled or a 55-gallon drum and try to go out in the water?
It was tough. So I used the fishing pole method. You know, throw the fishing pole out there.
Little treble hook,
Did you get pretty good at it?
No. I hate fishing in general. So no, it wasn't really my thing either there. So let them float to the bank, go get the ducks. But that's kind of how we started, and then it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah. So
I guess how did you progress from going in a just jump shooting ponds to finally you're hunting
full blown because y'all kill some birds for sure. What progressed into that period of?
Well, just from there on, we just started learning the duck hunting thing more, got into it, and that was probably when I was 16 or so. By the time I was 18, I was working for my dad at the time, and we did at the time own an entire business. We had a customer that would come in, and they owned a ranch north of here.
Yeah.
And so my dad set us up a hunt. We went out there hunting one day, and it was a pretty good hunt, neat place. And so I was working for my dad, and I was mowing the RV park, and I was just like, I was 18. I was like, I don't want to work for my dad anymore. I'm fed up. This is boring.
Don't work for my dad.
All my friends are doing cooler things than this. So I was like, I'm going to text this guy and see if I could get a job out there. I know a little bit about duck hunting, and I like it, so I thought it'd be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Text him. This was on a Friday. He said, yeah, come on, be here Monday. I was like, yeah, I'm about to go do some cool duck hunt stuff.
Yeah.
So here comes Monday, showed up, and I mowed for the first part of the day.
You're like, oh, man, I'm just mowing.
I was just texting you to get off this mower.
I don't want to mow anymore.
I've been on the mower for half the day. Then they threw me in the cornfields, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not really. It's hot.
Yeah.
We were laying poly pipe. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, I'm in utilities.
It wasn't all that fun, but I worked there for 4 years, and I learned a whole lot about duck hunting.
And the place you're working is a world-class place.
Yeah,
Where
very
was
nice
it?
place. It's about 20 miles north here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot, met a lot of really good people. My boss at the time was a guy named Shane Rately. Still a big influence in my life today. And so I worked there for 4 years. It was really good. Did some guiding for them, and I was already kind of into the dog training. I'm kind of getting ahead of the dog training. We're talking more about the hunting side right now. We can back up with the dog.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot there at the duck hunting industry, and it was really good. So I worked there until I was like 22. And then I've contracted guiding for them in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Since then. So that's kind of where I got my feet wet in the.
That's awesome, man.
So in that journey, when did you progress from being in a 55-gallon drum to starting to use dogs and training?
That would have been before I went to work for them. So after the fishing pole and the drums, I was like, we're losing birds. I can't go get them.
Yeah.
So you got yourself a dog, or
I did. Yeah, Craigslist special.
Yeah.
Craigslist special, baby.
That was like $600 for a dog. Oh no, look on Craigslist. Like, we're not paying $600. Oh yeah.
Hey, they blows mine now, don't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like $600. No, I had to bargain for it.
Yeah.
To get the Craigslist dog. I think it was like $200.
Yeah.
The dog
was it any good?
It was terrible. But that dog is what progressed me into the next dog, which is what progressed me into kind of where I'm here today.
That's funny.
So, dog was terrible. So, I had a family friend. He was my uncle at one time, and he was a guy with the good dogs in town. And we're like, no, we can't buy one of his $600 dogs. Like that's too much.
Yeah.
And so finally, I think my parents were out of town one weekend, and so me and my brother went over to his house, and he's like, man, just look at this dog. Let me just show you. And I fell in love with this dog.
Yeah.
It's kind of a golden yellow type dog, yellow lab, and. He's like, I'll sell you this dog. I think he was like 4 or 5 months old. I'll sell you this dog, $300.
Yeah.
He's like, but you can't have the breedings. You just take the dog. I'll keep the papers. And so his name was Buck. Got him home, and it was like a totally different animal. And it wasn't nothing against the first dog. He just didn't have it in him. I don't even know if he was full.
If he was even probably not even
Well,
lab, you got him on Craigslist.
Yeah, I mean, that quick side note, those typically don't work out.
Exactly.
My wife has gotten me 2 dogs in the past 6 years that I don't know how much she paid. She might have got them for free. I don't know. Yeah. But they weren't worth a flip.
No.
Pay for what you get, people.
That's right.
100%. I'm going to need, now that we're talking about this, I'm going to need one of those $300 deal, Nathans. I won't breed the dog. You just keep the dog, It'll be great for you.
If I come across one of those deals, I'll be sure to holler. Yeah, you'll be my first phone call.
I want one of his kids, but we'll get into that later. Yeah.
So I bought this dog from this guy. And like I said, he was a family friend. So he said, hey, come over once a week whenever you want. And
it came with the training package too?
He was going to help me, yeah. Oh. Yeah, he's the main reason. He's the reason I got into it, really.
Yeah.
So I went over there every week, and I was religious about it. Like I did it every week, maybe sometimes twice a week. Helped him with his dogs.
Yeah.
And just kind of watched and learned. And I trained this dog. I guess this was when I was probably like 16. Mm-hmm. Trained this dog full out. I went over there religiously. He took me all the way through it, and got that dog. And then when I was 18, for my graduation present, I got another dog.
Okay.
So that was a big deal.
Yeah.
For my graduation present, he gave me the full breeding rights in the papers to the dog as a graduation present.
Wow.
It's like, hey, congratulations, you did a good job with this dog. So that was a really cool thing.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
And then that's where I got his dad, which his name was Drake. And Buck was really good. And if I had Buck today, I think it'd be one of the best dogs I ever had. I didn't know as much back at the time, and we're still learning every day. Not that you ever get caught up on learning.
Yeah.
But Drake was kind of like my main dog. I guided with him at the ranch that I worked for. I guided with him for like 10 years.
Wow.
So I actually retired him a couple years ago as a 10-year-old, and they're still hunting him to this day. I think he's like 13.
Oh, wow.
He's a unit.
Yeah, he was a good dog.
Yeah,
he was a good dog. And so Drake was the one who kind of got me going, got me more excited about it. I actually sold Buck when I got married. Yeah, when I was 21. So I had Buck and Drake. So I was getting married. I was like, man, I don't need two dogs. Like, I don't really love dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you say that?
Them. Yeah, I can. Yeah. I'm not like a dog lover.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them laying on me and stuff. I want to go work them.
Yeah. You don't have house dogs.
No, I hate house dogs.
Yeah. See, I'm the same way. I don't really necessarily love dogs.
Yeah.
I would definitely have an outside dog. Grew up with dogs outside, sometimes inside, but I didn't really care for an inside dog.
I'm the opposite. I'm
super OCD and lab shed.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got friends that come over to my kennel and they're like, dude, why do you blow your kennel out so much? I'm like, can't stand it.
Yeah, Nathan's kennels, or the floor in his kennel is probably cleaner than most people's house. A lot of that is probably attributed to KK over here. Y'all can't see him off camera. He really runs the machine.
You can ask Kate. He'll be washing him dude, did you blow him out first? Can't be washing the hair. You got to blow
the hair. You got to blow the hair and then wash it.
I'll probably get on his nerves. I'm really particular about it. But I hate dog hair, so no house dogs.
Yeah.
So I sold Buck, and this dude, he was a wiry dog. He was ready to go. Every time he walked up to his kennel, he's jumping.
Yeah.
Jumping up and down. And so I sold him. I sold him to the ranch that I was working for. And they're like, hey, we need to leave him here. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Pick him up. So 2 days before, they've already paid everything. Deal's done. 2 days before they come pick him up, walk up to the kennel, he's just got his head hanging down low.
Oh.
I'm like, oh no,
that's not good.
No, something's not right. This ain't good. And I noticed he was real bloated.
Yeah.
Prior to this, when I would work this dog in water, when you'd get him back from a swim, 3 or 4 swims, you'd have to pick him up in the back and shake him, and he would burp it out. I never knew what the deal was.
Yeah. Was he just drinking a bunch of the water?
No, not yet.
Sorry.
So we take him to the hospital, and I played golf. I still play golf, but I was a big golfer at the time.
We'll play golf today?
Yeah, we did play golf today and last weekend.
Yeah.
Back then, I played a lot of golf. Got too many other things involved right now. But I was a big golfer, and he would go chase my golf ball sometimes. And so we had to take him in, do emergency surgery. They pulled up an x-ray, and they're like, hey, do you know what this might be lodged in his stomach? It's like a perfectly round something. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Yeah, I know that's a golf ball.
Yeah.
And so this golf ball had got lodged up in his stomach.
Wow.
And it was I don't understand all this stuff, but it was at the back of his stomach, so it was blocking him off somehow.
Yeah.
And so they had to do surgery, save the dog. I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
But the golf ball, you know how a golf ball has a dimple in it?
Yeah.
It looked like a pool ball, completely solid. So he had been in his stomach for years.
A long time.
That's why I would always have to shake him out.
Because he couldn't get
something to do with that. Yeah.
Wow.
Golly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I still have the golf ball.
Do you?
So y'all need to watch out. Just for everybody listening, don't let your dog pick up golf balls.
What would the ranch people say about it? Did you have to give them a refund, or they still got the dog?
No, I just ate the bill, and they still got the dog.
Yeah.
He was fine, but it happened on my property.
Yeah.
So I took care of it.
Yeah. Dang.
There's not many people hitting golf balls out at the ranch.
No. I don't think he ever swallowed another golf ball.
No, he probably was like, I do not want to go pick that up ever
golfing
again.
days were over.
Yeah. No more golfing days for old Buck.
No.
So then, transition to that, Drake became my main dog. I still did hunt Buck some at the ranch. Occasionally, but Drake was my main dog, and Drake is what produced Zeke, and now we have Zeke puppies. And
Zeke, I'm gonna tell you right now, you've never seen a dog with that much drive. Never have I ever seen a dog with as much drive as Zeke. I don't think.
Well, Zeke's not a big, high-powered dog,
dude. He's, for me, just not somebody that's around. I guess greatly trained dogs all the time. The dog's got him and Gucci both.
Gucci's a high-powered dog.
Gucci's a high-powered dog.
She's
So you can put a wall and a duck on the other side, and Gucci's going to go get that duck.
Run through the wall.
To get that duck.
That's awesome. So in the midst of all that, you sold the dog to the ranch you were working at. When did East Texas Retrievers become?
I want to say like, I think it was like 2018, 19. Mm-hmm. And up until the point until East Texas Retrievers kind of became East Texas Retrievers, I always had like 4 or 5 dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had this one dog, and like it was coming towards the end of the year, and I sold him, and he was a good dog. He still is a good dog. The guy still has him to this day and hunts him and loves him, but he was the hardest dog I've ever had to train.
Yeah.
If there's one thing we can all relate on, we all like to listen to music. And there's only one way to truly do that, Turtle Box. You can take it to the swamp, you can take it to the beach, you can take it to your friend's house. No matter where you're at, Turtle Box is always going to be there, loud, durable, waterproof. Go check them out, turtlebox.com, or check them out on Instagram.
And like I was this close to being done.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it took the fun out of it for me. Mm-hmm. Drake was older, so he was finished, so I just kind of, did my thing with him. And I had high hopes for this dog, and it just didn't turn out to be the way I wanted him to. And so I think it was like November, December, so we were hunting. And I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm either going to do it or I'm not.
Yeah.
And this, y'all can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. I think this is about the time frame that when like Instagram kind of became like a big deal.
Kind of started popping off a little bit, yeah.
Like I was kind of starting to see all these dogs on Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
And it's you kind of see dog trainers start popping up on social media. So it kind of was that time frame where it kind of became cool again.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of cool things about dog training.
A little bit of motivation through social media, I guess.
Right.
Kind of kicked you back into gear.
Because I was at a kind of like, do I want to do this anymore or do I not want to?
I want to keep mowing yards or.
Yeah.
So that one dog almost made you give it all up.
Oh, yeah.
But you probably learned
I can
a lot.
understand.
Yeah.
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 You don't think it was a learning experience?
I wasn't smart enough in the game to really know how to take it and learn from it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
no, it does.
If
I
had
like that
dog,
you can admit that too.
Right. If I had that dog today, not that you grow when you're learning. If I had that dog today, I
100%.
would do things different.
Yeah.
But at the time, my knowledge of the game wasn't as good as it is now, so I was struggling. And like I said, I had this one mentor, the guy who
had given you your dog.
Right.
Yeah.
He helped me, but it wasn't cool. There wasn't any young guys in it, but that was a time frame when you started seeing it pop up on social media.
Going to hunt test, it was you and a bunch of old guys. And all their dogs.
Exactly.
So were you going to hunt test before you started East Texas Retrievers?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I was like, I'll never do that.
Yeah.
Because the guy who helped me.
That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, the guy who was helping me was like, you're telling me about it. I never even listened to him.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not even cool.
Yeah.
Why would you do that when you can go duck hunting?
Yeah. And now he wakes up early morning and drives all the way to.
I'd rather go to a hunt test and go hunt a lot of times now.
Yeah.
So when you said you started East Texas Retrievers about 2018?
Yes, I believe it's like 2018, 2019.
But you've been.
Yeah, you have been
first
training.
Of 19,
yeah, you've been training
them,
dogs.
but it wasn't like I was really okay. Let's do this.
Yeah, and then you said you kind of got a little bit of inspiration just by seeing it. People that were actually doing it.
Yeah,
that happens a lot. I imagine like. You might be doing something or whatever, and you see, okay, maybe it is kind of cool to do that. I'm kind of doing it right now or whatever, and you start getting into it. So when did it really take off? When did you really, fall in love with training dogs? So
that time frame, Zeke was a puppy. I had just bought him. Mm-hmm. So I made the decision, okay, I want a dog out of Drake. Let's do it. Yeah. And so we had 2 litters out of Drake that winter. And I think I picked him up.
He was getting after it. 2 in one winter?
Yeah, he was a good dog. Yeah, he liked it.
Yeah.
He was hunting and having some fun.
It was a good winter for old Drake. It was a good winter for old Drake.
Yeah, don't bring your female around Drake when she's in it. He would take care of them. So I had 2 litters. So that was kind of like, okay, I'm either going to fixing to do this
or not
with these next 2 dogs, or I'm just going to quit.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, let's just do it. So I started ETR. I was heading to Angel Fire, New Mexico with my brother-in-law. And I was trying to dude, just help me find out a name. I can't figure out a name. We came up with East Texas Retrievers. I thought it sounded really generic at the moment. I was like, hey, fits, ETR. Mm-hmm. So ETR became, I think we were headed the ski trip February, came back, picked up Zeke and another dog, yellow dog named Gage, which is Zeke's half-brother. You had him out there, huh? Yeah, he's at the house. Yeah. Still have him to this day. Yeah, I seen him today. I don't own him, but he's still in the kennel. Yeah. So them 2 dogs are really what kind of made ETR progress. Yeah. And so from there, I built a new set of kennels. Uh-huh. Had everything rolling and haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
Guys, this is Jackson with the Quack Shack podcast. Today we're going to talk to y'all about the high and dry Tortuga bag and the high and dry utility pole. You're not going to find a more durable and waterproof bag on the market. This thing's got 5 pockets, all kinds of compartments. It's so lightweight that you're not even going to notice it's on your back. Then we got the utility pole, which is one of my favorite things that's come out because we like to hunt marsh, we like to hunt swamp. We never know what we're hunting. Right here, you can go all the way up with this thing right here, and there's absolutely nothing better because you can hang your gun, you can hang your tote, you can hang your bag. If you're tired of getting your shells wet, put them right here. You're tired of getting your bag wet, put it right here. You're tired of getting your gun wet, put it right here. All kinds of things you can hang from this right here. Keep it completely dry when you're in a situation you don't have a tree or you don't have a stump, something you can keep your stuff dry on. Check them out at High and Dry on Instagram or highanddry.com.
So you're getting really involved into it. When does the hunt test stuff start really taking off? Because I didn't realize until, I guess, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago that's a massive deal.
Yeah, it is.
Like there's a lot of
there's people that have hunting dogs. That
most people who own like a training center for dogs. That's like their big thing to do.
Yeah, like if you don't have hunt tests, a lot of the kennels don't have dogs.
Yeah. When did you get into it?
So Zeke was my first hunt test dog.
Okay.
So I ran my first test when he was 5 months old.
Wow.
So I believe that would have been
That's crazy.
May of 19.
He ran a test at 5 months old?
Yeah.
Was he just that advanced
test.
or?
Do what?
It was a start test?
It was a start test.
It's still a start test at 5 months old. It's pretty.
Yeah, if I could go back and do it, I probably wouldn't have ran him that young, but I was so excited about it. And he did good.
Yeah.
He passed.
Yeah.
But
That's all that matters.
Well, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that just shows that you know what you're doing. If you're teaching a 5-month-old dog to, win or at least pass a.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So he got me into it, and then I fell in love with him from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was my first dog to run each level.
Yeah.
So I ran him in started. I ran him in season. He passed all 3 of his season passes, and that was like a huge deal to me.
Yeah.
That really, because started isn't that big of a deal, honestly.
So he's a decorated dog.
Yeah, he is. So
Highly decorated individual right there next to you.
Man. That's awesome.
Ran finish with him. That was a big deal for me.
Yeah. The finish.
Yeah. And he passed his first 2, passed his third, and we only need 1 more for his big title.
Yeah.
And he went out on the last bird. And this was right before duck season, so I was like, I'm going to get to go have Zeke. He's going to be a finished dog from duck season. And he failed on the very last bird. And this was like November, so I had to wait till like...
So for
They
those...
lost it or something?
Yeah, I lost him on the blind.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was about to ask for the people out there that don't really know much about hunt tests. What does it take to fail, and what's the whole pass
So you're judged in the finished level. You have 3 birds that come out, not at once, but 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And you have a land and water series. So the dog has to mark all 3 birds.
Uh-huh.
You pick up the first, you pick up the second, you come back and pick up the third, and then you'll run a blind, which is a bird out in the field that the dog has not seen, and you can handle him to that.
You have to track them down.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when you're
and you can. That's when you start
cast.
using.
Yeah, cast.
Yeah.
That's probably the coolest thing. There's 2 things that I find really cool in dog training. One is the hand signals, and 2 when you train them to like shed hunt.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Because
you
it's
got
a
into
dead
that, 'cause
bone.
You're kind of a big.
You know what I mean?
too.
Like I could see blood or a live animal, but like a dead bone.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I've never messed with that side. Maybe I'm not smart enough, but we also have like no sheds around here to go.
Yeah. So
These massive deer on the wall here.
it's studs.
now let's dive into like the customer side of East Texas Retrievers. So you also breed dogs.
I do.
So say someone was looking for a dog, okay? They come to you to explain that process.
So if you want a puppy, I have a list. You get on the list. Once the puppies hit the ground, I go through the list from top to bottom. And if you want a dog, you fall into that number that you were on my list, and then we just go from there. If you want to leave it for the puppy programs, you can. Some people take them home. Some people leave them there.
What do you recommend? Honestly,
That's a tough
from a customer standpoint.
I'm still trying to figure that question out.
Yeah.
I really am. Because it kind of depends on what type of home it's going to.
Yeah.
It really does. So,
Like a disciplined home or whatever, not disciplined home.
and this, I don't take this wrong to any honest, but I think when dogs go home to kids, it hurts them.
Yeah,
Little
I can
kids.
see that.
Really? I was thinking more along the lines of if a dog's going to go home to a place, because I feel like the puppy stage is really important for your bonding.
Right.
I don't know much about dogs, so take this with a grain of salt. But I feel like it's really important for your bonding. So I would want to have the dog as a puppy and send him to you at whatever months old, just for the bonding. But if you're going to just keep him in a cage all the time, you're not bonding with him anyways. You might as well be going through your puppy program.
Right. But it is super, super important to socialize them.
Yeah.
And the more I train, the more I realize that you don't want to rush a young puppy.
Yeah.
It's not important. And with our puppy programs, you don't see a lot of like, oh wow, the dog is really doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
But what it is doing is not teaching it bad manners and teaching it bad habits that we have to correct when it becomes 5 months old. So I think, like, I've got 3 or 4 clients that are like single guys. They take the dogs home and they're their big buddy. But I can tell them, hey, like, don't do this, do this. And they do a good job of it. And the dogs come back, they're happy, they've been socialized, and they do really well.
So you can tell a difference sending them home to a single guy versus somebody with a family. How they come back sometimes.
And a lot of times
it depends on the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you can sometimes tell.
If somebody said, hey, we're coming to pick up this dog, what would you recommend? I would say, I'll recommend doing what you want at your dog. I don't have a preference on that. I like to keep the puppies,
Yeah.
But if you would like to take it home,
it's your dog.
I want you to.
Okay.
But if you want to bring it back for training, here's some things I need you to do in the process.
What's up, guys? This is Jackson with the Quack Shack podcast. I just want to take a second to talk to y'all about Apex Ammunition's Tungsten Super Shot. Man, it's the best thing that we've ever encountered in the waterfowl industry as far as shotgun shells goes. No jams, no wounded birds, pretty much everything you could ask for in a shell. I mean, if you're looking at getting into waterfowl or you are a waterfowler, you have to have Apex in your bag.
So say they take the puppy home. When do you, and they want to start like the beginning stage, like puppy trial or obedience would be the first, right? Obedience training. When do they bring them back?
I like to get them around 5 to 6 months old. 5 to 6 months old,
and the obedience training is how long?
I have a 5-month gun dog program, which is 2 months of obedience, a month of force fetch, and then 2 months of field work.
Okay. So and that'll be is that a finished dog?
No, that's a started gun dog. Yeah, that's no hand signals, nothing like that.
Okay.
That's just a started gun dog.
Okay.
That dog is force fetch. Do you know what force fetch is?
Yeah, you put
for
them
the
on
audience, it's where the
line and stuff.
No. Maybe, but it's where the dog delivers to hand.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come back and drop it on the ground.
Okay.
So when you see a dog come back, heel on the side, and hold the bumper in his mouth, he has been taught that.
Yeah.
Now, some dogs may do it naturally, but they're not going to do it every time. Especially if they went on a long retrieve through the marsh and they're tired, they're going to get back and spit it out.
Spit it out, yeah.
And if that if that duck is wounded, the duck's going to run off.
Yeah.
So force fetch.
I can see why that's a big deal. Yeah.
It's super, super important that your dog is force fetched.
And it's good that they learn that young. Because it gets away from creating bad habits.
Right. Yeah. You do it once you start obedience. I like to do it like 2nd or 3rd month.
Yeah.
So then the dog is force fetched, it delivers to hand, and then we introduce it to decoys, gunfire, multiple retrieves, and then it's either ready to start the advanced stuff or go home and come back later. It kind of depends on time of year too.
Yeah. So after the obedience, you move into...
That's when we move into the advanced stuff. And that's force fetch and... No, force fetch is in the gun dog program.
That's like casting and...
Yeah, the advanced stuff is going to be like your T-drills, which is where you teach them to handle. And running blinds, running longer retrieves, multiple retrieves, that type of thing.
I got you. So after all that's done and you start... When do you start the hand signals? Is that... After all that's finished and he's polished up, the dog, and...
Well... You got your starting gun dog, and then it goes into the advance. And when you start advance, you start teaching them the hand signals in. Okay. That's where you like your T-drill, and you start teaching your casting.
Yeah.
Casting is hand signals.
Yeah. Okay. So how long does it take from when you get the dog, say you got the dog at 5 months, to get to where it's a finished dog?
It's a tough question.
Because it's different for every dog.
It depends on the dog.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It depends on the dog and how good you want the dog to be.
Yeah.
So, like, my finished level dogs... I still work them daily and improve things on them more than you do us.
Yeah.
So it's like saying, like, once you make it to the big leagues in baseball, you stop practicing?
No, you got to keep going.
That's a great way to put it.
That's a good analogy for
That's a good thing for the people at home.
Right.
Like, you might have a really good dog, maybe one of the best dogs, who knows? Like, but if you don't work it during the summer,
it'll forget.
Or during the spring, like, and you come wintertime, you're like, then the dog doesn't want to go pick up a bird.
I've seen
it's kind of on you.
I've seen it firsthand.
Or on the individual.
I've seen it firsthand, 100%. Where the last hunt of the season before that dog went and fetched 42 ducks. The first hunt of the season the next year wasn't worked with that much. Well, and go pick up 5 or 6, and I don't think I want to go anymore.
That's right.
And you're like, dude, you're just doing casting 6 months ago. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
So like I was even telling, who was I telling this to earlier? Maybe Jordan. But I had a dog last year that was going through hand signals, a personal dog. And I hunted him all year, all season, and never ran one blind. I didn't cast him one time.
Yeah.
Reason being is because I didn't want to confuse him.
Yeah.
I wanted to get him through that duck season, let him know, because no matter if a dog is finished or if it started, a duck hunting scenario is a totally new thing to a dog.
Yeah.
We can train for it, we can test for it, but when you get out there, you can't every day throw your dog in the trailer or throw your dog in the kennel at 5 o'clock in the morning, stop by the gas station, drive 30 miles, get out with your buddies, music blaring, sit in the blind.
They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, sit in the blind for 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden they can barely see sunlight outside, and like boom, 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 and it just blows their mind.
Yeah. 100%.
Like what's going on here? There's normally a guy on the field throwing these.
Yeah.
And with dogs, if I'm not wrong, it's really about confidence with them a lot of the time. The worst thing you can do is get a dog down on its confidence, send it on something that there's no way it can get.
Exactly. They'll break down, or they'll get, I guess, like, I don't know.
Dogs are emotional.
They are.
Oh yeah.
They are.
They say, oh yeah.
So, on the other hand, if somebody buys a dog somewhere else, or they have a puppy or whatever, and they want to bring it to you, when do you suggest them to bring it?
I try to get them around 5 to 6 months old, unless the dog has already had training.
Yeah.
And is advanced dog or already been through some type of program. I don't really take dogs that are a year old that have never had no training.
Yeah.
Another analogy is like teaching a kid when he's 20 years old how to play football. Like you should have started that when you're like 10.
Yeah. Hard to teach like hand-eye coordination, just like it's hard to teach all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's doable, but as a trainer,
So if somebody brings you a year-old dog that can sit or heel and like pick up a play duck out in the yard, you would take it? If it's pretty obedient dog?
Yeah.
So
I've tried, but you don't see a lot of that. If people really want that, they think about it before then.
Yeah. Say somebody brings you a dog like that and you take it in. What are you starting with?
Start a gun dog program. Okay. Obedience.
From what you would normally do at 5 months.
If that dog has never had no obedience, I don't care if he's 4 years old.
Got to be harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to be.
Yeah. If he's 4 years old, I'm going to start him out at obedience.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over it. Because the problem with people is labs are smart.
Yeah.
And so you teach a dog to sit, you can do that in one day.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's going to sit every time you tell him to. So you have to do that over and over again.
Yeah.
So I guess, you're pretty selective when it comes to, training dogs, I would say. And I guess that, I think that that's a better way to be instead of having a ton of dogs, because especially if it's just you and maybe, just one other person working them. I know every one of those dogs that you have is getting worked. They're not just sitting there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got some athletic dogs out there.
We are a smaller kennel. Yeah. So I can, and it isn't my full-time job. I don't know if we've touched on that yet. So it is a part-time job. It does feel like full-time. A lot of times me and Caden are up real early in the morning before work, after work, lunchtime.
Yeah.
But I'm not a full-time kennel. So the dogs that I do have in my kennel, I have 15 kennels right now. I only have 11 dogs.
Yeah.
But the 11 dogs that I have right now.
So that's by choice.
Yeah.
You've downsized.
Yeah. Trying to find a little bit of balance in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids, I get it.
Kids, yeah.
Oh, and having puppies too. You had puppies recently, and
I think it was 2021, and we were expecting our first kid, and I told my wife, hey, I'm gonna back off.
Yeah.
I think I'd had 15 dogs, and I was like, I'm gonna back off this year. I think I had almost 20 dogs all year.
So then you didn't back off very much.
No. So the next year, we had another kid, and I was like, I'm gonna cut it down. I think I had 20 that year too. 15 to 20. That's not including puppies.
Well, you're finally getting around to it.
You didn't have the amazing help that you have now.
I did then.
All-star help.
No, I did then.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he was around when Paisley Grace was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you might still have the neighbor kid.
Oh, he was there too.
Okay. Y'all, there's a lot of stories we could tell you about that fella, but
He called him Bird Boy. He probably watched
his Bird Boy. No. His Bird Boy was a neighbor, and he just walked down, decided he was going to work that day.
Yeah. he just showed up in my yard. I was like, dude, you can't just come in my yard like this.
That might have been an opportunity to teach some kid. He
100% looked out for that kid.
That kid might be the greatest dog trainer in the world one day.
No, when he first came to my kennel, I'm like, dude, you can't just show up in my house.
How old is he?
What was he, K10?
Yeah, I'm gonna say about 10.
Just randomly showed up to his house.
I feel bad for him now, but I wasn't really that nice to him because I was like, you can't just have people at your house around your dogs. Like, you just can't have that.
Yeah.
Well, no, for real, because you never know that dog.
He had a bunch of stray dogs, and I was like, dude, you just can't.
He had dogs with him. Like,
he's a rough little kid.
Oh.
Poor, like, I feel bad for him now that I look back on it. So I was like, dude, you can't come to my house like this. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
So, like, a month later, he showed up at my house again. He's like, dude, can I work? Can I help you? I was like, let's go. And me and that kid had so much fun together. So much fun.
I used to get daily Snapchats from Nathan with this little kid. And then one day I get a picture, this kid has no eyebrows.
Did you shave his eyebrow? You dirty dog.
He didn't shave his eyebrows.
I told everybody.
He told everybody he did.
What happened?
He treated this kid like his son almost. Like
was he not well taken care of at home? Or?
No.
Oh, man.
That's why I was able to help him so much. I missed the kid and moved to Illinois. I miss him. He was so much fun. I've never yelled at somebody so much in my life. I got so mad.
Send your dogs to him. Don't send your kids to him.
Not a babysitter. Not a babysitter. But
Kate can vouch for it because Kate came along, and I was just. The kid was just, he was so much fun.
Bad.
We messed with him so much, but he would not listen.
Was he special?
No.
Oh.
He's a cool kid.
Yeah.
Like outdoorsman, like never wore shoes. Like he'd be in like clean.
You take him hunting?
No, you couldn't do that with him because you could never not.
Yeah.
Like he had to be like real careful. Like
yeah.
Like if you took him hunting, he would be there every morning.
Yeah.
Ready to go hunting.
You couldn't get rid of him.
Be like attached to his hip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a lot of fun. And then Cade kind of came along, and I worked with both of them, and then didn't need Tristan as much. He came along some, but then Cade became my main help. Actually, Cade, I noticed this kid was always like liking my stories. I'm like, kind of noticed it, and then one day he was like, hey, can I come buy a shirt? I was like, sure. So he showed up at my house, and I was like, hey, do you ever want to?
Need a job?
Yeah, you want to come hang out and learn the dogs? He's like, yeah. And so he came over a few times. I was like, dude, you're a good help. Like, I need you. I'll pay you. Like, you want to work? And Cade's been with me ever since. So we're good buddies. We hang out a lot.
That's
do a lot
good.
of fun stuff together. So we dog train, but we're good buddies.
Golf too?
Yeah, we golf.
What?
Casino.
Casino? All the good stuff?
Yeah, I like to go to the casino.
If he ever, gets to know him, Nathan will tell you he's not very good at golf and he just sharks you.
Don't.
And then he tries to talk you into so many bets while you're playing.
Don't play golf with him.
Just don't play golf with him. Because he likes to do this thing where he acts like he's not very good.
He'll also get up to a ball, like about to tee it off. Hey, you like golf? Yeah. You like this?
Like this, yeah.
And then just bomb it down the fairway. If you want to make
some money off of the East Texas Retriever guy, just take him to the putting green.
Yeah, not too hot there.
Not too hot on the putting green, but if he's got a partner that can putt, boy, y'all shoot low.
Yeah. So Cade came to help me. Good friends now. All because he bought a shirt.
You've made quite a bit of friends in the outdoor industry, I would say.
Big time, yeah.
What do you think about the outdoor industry
as a whole?
I just try to stay out of as much as possible, honestly.
Yeah.
I do my thing. I got my friends.
You're not a big social media person.
I got to talk Nathan into coming into places.
I enjoy the dogs.
Yeah.
And I enjoy duck hunting. But I was telling somebody the other day, like, man, I don't even look forward to duck hunting as much as I used to, just because it's so much.
Well, you've been guiding.
If duck hunting was a drug, I would do it right now.
Yeah.
I don't do drugs.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's just like
it's also different because you've been doing it. You've been guiding for the last 8 or 9 years. So
see, that's why That's why I've said it 100 times on the podcast. I would never full-time guide.
Listen, there's one thing that's really going to help protect your gear out in the swamp or the marsh or wherever you're at. If you spend a ton of money on duck calls or spend a ton of money on guns, there's one thing that's really going to help you. The lanyard's going to help you keep your duck calls from falling in the water. We've all seen that guy. We've all seen the call drop in the water. Don't be that guy. VPC lanyards can hook you up with multiple different varieties of lanyards, colors, you name it, as well as your strap for your gun. You can even get matching ones like I did. You don't have to, but there's one thing you need to do is go to VPC Lanyards on Instagram or Facebook and protect your gear with the best lanyards in the game. VPC Lanyards, go check them out.
Yeah, it takes fun out of it.
Never.
To me, it does, but
It makes it work.
yeah, if I didn't have dogs all year, it'd probably be okay.
I'll go a handful of times. My buddy's got a little small guide. He'll run like 15 trips just for a lot of it's like his boss's friends
really
and stuff, you know what I mean? And I'll go out there because we don't have to cater to them before or after. We just throw their stuff in the buggy. Really, I make them throw their own stuff in the buggy. And then
Great guy,
we'll drive them out there. I'll help them get their stuff to the blind because a lot of times it's older people or like their wives or something. I'll help them get to the blind or wherever we're hunting and then shoot. I won't shoot for the first little bit. I'll like see how they're shooting, you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10 you have to shoot the bird for them.
Yeah, but you know what you also have to do? You have to learn when to call the shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
It's not just calling the shot, but you've got to let them shoot the first volley and say, okay, they were like 3 seconds behind.
Yeah.
So then you've got to learn to call the shot 3 seconds ahead, but then you're going to scare the bird sometimes.
A lot of these guys, these people we're taking are from like DFW area, so they're not,
The ranch that I worked at, we would have to load their guns, load their shells.
Oh no!
Oh, this place this ranch he's working at, I mean, it's about a high class duck hunting that you get.
You have to load their breakfast, load their earplugs, come back, wash their boots off, clean their guns. But
That's fine.
not taking anything away from that. I learned so much, and I still have acquaintances to this day that are very huge in my life.
Yeah.
Even in business, besides dogs.
Yeah.
So it's been very, very.
Yeah.
The choice that I made on the mower that day has benefited my life greatly.
Yeah, it totally pivoted it.
And I never made big money, but the people and the opportunities that I've got from that place have been highly impactful in my life.
Yeah.
100%.
See, I mean, that's how I feel about the podcast. I started taking Falco in 2017 and sold a bunch of hats and shirts and stickers back in the day, I just got burnt out and I never really shut it down. We just posted our own content on there and like of us killing our own birds and stuff. And this podcast started up and it's I met a lot of people in from taking Falco, but this podcast, we've met so many people.
And really good people. Like
I probably can name 2 or 3 people that I really couldn't care to talk to ever again, but every single one of them, and we've met a bunch of people. Yeah. There's a lot of genuine people. At least I think so.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I guess I got a couple questions for people that they can't really afford to send their dogs to a trainer, to a full-time trainer. What is a couple, I guess, one or 2 or 3 things that you would recommend, getting their dog started, getting their dog going to where they can hunt with their dog?
Yeah. There's a lot of good DVDs. Mm-hmm. There's also like some online series that you can watch. The one I used to watch was, I think it's called The Retriever Trainer by Freddie King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Follow a plan and stick to it.
Yeah. I used to watch that DTG or something back in the day on YouTube.
So just get a plan. And
get a plan and stick to it.
Yeah.
Don't swap around. If you find something you like and you think it's going to work for you and your dog, stick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't rush it.
Yeah.
I have to tell myself
Be patient.
Yeah, I have to tell myself that all the time as a trainer.
Yeah.
And that's something I have learned.
Are you a pretty patient dude?
I mean, I think dog trainers in general kind of have to be.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of people like, hey, I got to bring you my dog because I don't have patience for it. But I mean, my wife might tell you that I'm not very patient.
I think all of us would say that.
You're kind of like a little bit of a high-strung person. I am.
I can get wired up. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's totally different when you're around your dogs.
I mean,
his dogs are disciplined.
Yeah, they're disciplined.
Well, the dogs, but a fresh dog, no.
The biggest thing with dog training, you've got to train the dog in front of you.
Yeah.
You cannot treat dog number 1 like dog number 2.
Yeah.
Zeke and Gucci, I have to train them totally different.
Yeah.
But that's where daily I try to learn how to be better.
Yeah.
Because you get one dog out of the trailer and you have a hard time with it. Well, you've got to completely forget about that dog and train the next one. Yeah. That's where it's hard to be patient and not let your emotions out on the next dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this dog didn't mean nothing by it. And a lot of times, Zeke, He's emotional. If he hears you,
Are you emotional, dude?
you look at him.
Look at him.
What's
He's
wrong
got his
with
head
you?
down. He's like, I don't like being on camera. It's his first time on live television.
You're gonna be famous.
If he hears you hollering at a dog, something like that, he's gonna come out and be like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to come
not
out there.
you again.
No, you, dude. I don't even want to deal with your crap right now, man. But he's a freaking sick dog. That dog will listen. That dog listens better than any dog I've ever seen.
He's the easiest dog. I actually don't own Zeke anymore, so he's not even my dog.
You just sell all your personal dogs, or what?
Yeah, but
Nathan has this great life where he sells the dogs but still gets to keep them.
yeah, so Zeke ain't my dog.
So do you own a dog right now?
I have 3.
Okay.
Yep, Gucci, Gertie, and a new dog named Boone.
Boom.
He keeps the women, the producers.
You like female dogs?
Yeah.
Man, the last dog I got, I had 2 or 3 people tell me to get a female dog.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for me.
Do you think it's easier for people that, like I said, people that are training at home, do you think it's easier to train a female than a male?
It depends on the dog. Zeke is a male, and he's easier to train than Gucci.
Yeah.
Not very many people could handle a Gucci.
Oh, dude, there's not many people out there that can handle a Gucci, but if you can handle one,
But like
the unit.
Zeke,
Why? Because
she's just a high-powered dog.
She's just ready to go.
So like the dude that
is she one of those dogs that see birds working?
she can get that away a little bit, especially when she was young.
Yeah.
But she's not too bad now.
Yeah.
How do you get dogs?
I know
to stop
people
that?
don't like that, but obviously you don't want that, but when I see a dog doing that,
It's pretty cool.
I'm like, man, that dog is ready.
Yeah, I don't know why do y'all like that?
Because the dog is so excited to go get that bird.
Yeah, but
The dog
It's cool
wants
to
you to
see it.
shoot that bird, right?
no, it's a legit question because a lot of people are like, I think it's cool.
Well, I think it's cool, but I also understand. I've been mad at dogs doing it before because
No, 100%.
I've had birds working
Yeah.
and then the dog.
100%. No,
start-
I think it's cool, but I don't want it to happen. You know what I mean? Like when I
Right.
do see it happen, I'm like, man, that dog
Really wants the
really
birds.
wants that bird down here.
How do you get that out of them?
If they're too bad, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things that we do that we can try to work it out of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of times, like Gucci, her first year, and she's a high-powered dog, like we spoke on. But I had to really kind of like work on her with the collar and tell her to hush a lot.
Yeah.
Pop her every once in a while, every time she whine, and she's good now. I mean, she does get maybe like the first couple hunts of the season, she gets.
Well,
hurt.
yeah, they're ready
They
to
don't
go.
bother me, but the problem that if you don't get on it. Day 1, they're gonna be, kind of singing kind of quiet.
Day 2,
last day, they're gonna be howling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which could definitely mess your hunt up. Like I said, I don't want them to do that
Yeah.
because obviously it could ruin some birds coming
Right.
in. But
As long as
when
it's
I
under
do
control.
see it, I'm like, man, that dog is just as excited to be out here as I am.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember which dog did you bring on 8-man when we killed.
This last season?
Yeah.
That was Tiger.
Tiger is sick too. You still have Tiger?
Oh yeah. He's
Tiger.
not mine.
I'm telling you, none of these dogs are his. You just gotta make sure.
So
they
you'll
work
have
out.
a dog that you've one of your litters, or I guess, and you'll have it trained up, ready to go, and like somebody wants to buy a finished dog, you just sell it your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get attached to him?
No.
Any?
No.
None of them.
No.
They're
Not one.
machines.
The only reason
Drake,
yeah, I sold him.
you got attached to him or no?
I sold him at 10 years old, so
Would you sell Zeke though? Oh, you already did. Never mind.
You sold him at
already
10?
sold?
yeah.
Oh, you were attached to that dog.
Yeah, but
You definitely were.
No, I was, but he was
Yeah.
kind of the only dog at the time. I didn't really have
Yeah.
another dog I could hunt.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Zeke was 10, and so every day
Drake.
Drake was 10.
Yeah.
Every day when I go out to the field, you can't take a 10-year-old to the field every day.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there like, hey, this ain't no fun. Like, I'm watching all these other dogs
So
go.
did you sell him to somebody that just wanted a house dog or
No,
something?
they took him in hunting for like 3-4 more years.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
Zeke,
what he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Zeke
Is he still alive?
Drake. Yeah, I think they retired him last year.
Dang,
They may pull him out and hunt him again this year. But
How long does a lab live?
14 to 15, right? If it's a healthy.
and he was a smaller dog, so that helps him live longer.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
What do you think about smaller labs? He's a pretty good sized
I
dog.
got a good question.
He's a good
Go
dog,
ahead.
big good sized dog.
Finish. Go ahead.
You want me to answer this question
Yeah,
first?
100%.
I like a big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when you show up and you got that big dog that's
Get
just
that dog in him.
Dominant.
Dog in him.
I have a friend that has a small lab. I think she's probably
She's real small.
3, 4 maybe. She is tiny, like real short.
Almost looks like a spaniel.
Yeah, tiny. And she's a good dog. I thought it was cool because I had never seen such a small dog, and she's got a lot of drive.
Right.
You know what I mean? She every once in a while she'll get in her mood.
oh yeah.
And Jace just gets aggravated, but she's a good dog, but she is tiny. And I thought that was pretty neat. So when I got that female dog I was talking about earlier, I wanted a small one. She was going to be small. I just didn't give her enough time.
Listen, guys, Hybrid Boat makes a super durable boat. Whether you're taking it out in the timber or down in the marsh, it doesn't matter. Hybrid Boat is built for you because they're custom made. Go check out Hybrid Boats on Instagram at Hybrid Boat Co. or on the website at hybridboatco.com. Get you a custom made boat. That's the only way to go.
I like a big, powerful dog. I don't like a big, lazy dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just don't have the time to train
correctly
a dog the right way. Just stay. I mean, I could if it wasn't like every day. I just don't have the,
I guess my question is for other people out there looking to buy labs, what is your opinion between British and American labs? What is your favorite out of the two and why?
I train American labs.
Yeah.
I breed American labs.
Have you ever trained a British lab?
America.
One?
No way, no.
Wasn't my style.
Yeah.
Not big.
For what reason?
Elegant.
Was there a noticeable difference or?
Yeah, he was just different. Didn't have a lot of go to him.
Yeah.
Kind of small and good. He was a good house dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an American dog.
A lazy Brit,
American dog.
Lazy Brit dog.
Lazy Brit, But
USA.
Let's go. USA.
I understand. No,
now there is some really good British dogs out there.
Yeah.
But when you go to these hunt tests and you see the dogs.
Yeah.
There's very few British dogs. There's some British dogs that I'm sure are way better than my labs.
Yeah.
I mean, than my American dogs. But I choose American dogs.
Every time.
Yeah. Every time.
Awesome.
So I guess here's another question I've always had about labs, and I think other people might have too, is what is that, the knot, the smart knot? People say this dog's got a smart knot or whatever it is. What's your opinion? Is that myth or is that...
You talking about the knot on top of their head?
Yeah. Some labs have it, some labs don't.
Yeah.
Is it... Have you seen it make a difference?
No.
Because that's a myth. People are like, it's got a good, it's got the knot on the back of its head. It's smarter.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
I've heard it.
I don't know if I really ever heard that.
I've heard it a bunch of times.
Yeah. I don't know.
You never seen it make a difference?
No.
No, I'm being serious.
I do think that sometimes I have the dogs.
He's thinking about it now. He's thinking about it now.
They're kind of like crazier.
The ones
with
the knot.
Yeah. But that could be a myth on my end.
Hey, look.
That last dog I had a knot on its head. That dog was not smart.
No, they're supposed to be. This is smart. They're supposed to be smarter if they have the knot. That's the myth.
Oh,
maybe. I'm gonna start paying more attention to it.
So hey, I want you to start tallying it.
Hey, pick this dog. It's got a knot on its head.
yeah.
Start tallying it for me.
If your dog don't have a knot on its head, I'm not taking it.
I'm not taking it. That's Nathan's new thing. Yeah. So what is what are your what is the way to what's your price range for a 5-month plan? If you want a fully finished job, I guess how many months? That's what I was asking that earlier.
For a fully finished dog?
Yeah.
So we got the gun dog plan that's 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, most of the time, if they don't want to do advanced stuff, for around here, the gun dog does pretty much everything people need.
Yeah.
Except hand signals.
Yeah.
But, a lot of these people take their dogs home, they hunt them 10 times a year.
Yeah.
And that starter gun dog pretty much takes care of them.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks sometimes, too, because that dog might be good enough, they might not even ever want to bring it back.
Well, Well, you give it to them, and you're thinking that dog has a lot of potential.
Or it could be if you fully finish it, hand signals and all, it could be a really good dog. You just never know.
Does that happen a lot? Where you
Sometimes.
give them back, and you're like, I really wish I could have kept training that dog.
Yeah, the last two I had, I was like,
You ever try and buy them back?
yeah.
No,
I have a couple.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But it's only because circumstances come up where
Yeah.
most time. I got a dog right now that I'd like to have back in my kennel. The guy actually called me the other day. His name is Gunner. Gunner, if you're watching this, I want to text back. He was a really good dog, and I saw him, and me and Gunner became good friends, and we've always kept up. We hunted together and stuff.
Yeah.
Jordan knows who Tex was.
Oh, Tex is sick.
Yeah, he's a big dog.
He's a unit.
He was a good dog.
A good name. He was a good Tex.
Yeah.
Picked as a puppy, but ended up being a big old boy.
But to answer your question on the what it takes to have a finished dog, most of the time,
do you have a plan for that?
Yeah, I've never had anybody. Like I said, I'm not a big kennel, so I haven't seen 20 dogs through my kennel.
Yeah.
And a lot of my dogs that I have in my kennel the same dogs I've had for a long time. I'm very blessed with good customers.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah.
And very thankful for that. But like all of my dogs that have came back for advance kind of just come back every year.
Yeah. They're never like the owner takes them and then they come back after season, to get polished.
They're never like, okay, I want this done in next month. So like, here he is. Keep progressing him.
Yeah.
And them are the dogs I run test with.
Yeah.
So that's where it goes back to my finished dogs. Me and Cade work finished dogs daily.
Yeah.
And we work all of them too, but the finished dogs get just as much work as the young dogs.
Yeah. Just stay sharp. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
So, I mean, you can teach a dog hand signals and all that stuff in 4 months. Mm-hmm. But it goes back to kind of what I was saying with sit. You got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do take that dog home and after 5 months of advanced stuff, you have to keep it going.
Yeah.
You have to. And you have to do it, I say.
Yeah.
Or do what your trainer.
You do at least stick to the plan. Like you said, the original thing, you got to stick to your plan.
Yeah.
So when you're selling puppies, you sell it with the option to get a training contract, right?
Yeah. They can either. I don't really do much contracts anymore. If they want to bring it back to me, I tell them, hey, look, you buy this dog from me. I don't want to be the guy that's like, you have to bring that back to me.
Yeah.
They might have a trainer up the road.
Yeah.
And they want to go see the dog every day. So I don't put it on people. You buy this dog from me, it's got to come back to me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that guy. But I hope that maybe they've picked me for the reason to buy their dog and train it.
Yeah.
And so if they do, I'm definitely happy to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only really contract set thing I have is I do have a 5 month minimum.
Yeah.
That's it.
I got
I
you.
don't really do the contract stuff. I tried it at one time, but I try to work with the customer.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, because you might have some guy from Virginia buy one of your puppies, and he's not gonna be able to see his dog all the time if you got his pup.
You're like, well, I'm not going to sell you a dog because you live in Virginia. No, I'm happy to sell you a dog.
Yeah.
Good
No,
luck
I was
with
just
it.
saying more along the lines like you do offer, a full, you can buy the puppy and
definitely
and get him trained here.
I want you to bring it back. If you want to train it and it's accessible for you to bring it to me, give me a first shot at it if you can.
Yeah.
And if I can take it, I can probably put you in good hands to somebody else who can.
Yeah.
Because you got that extensive training network.
Yeah.
People all over the country.
Trainers everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's a big deal.
Nationwide, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
You bet. Thanks
for waiting. We told you we'd get you on.
Yeah, look, it's better. Look, we're a lot more
it's
advanced.
a lot more
look, when we
advanced,
started,
come
we
a long
were
way.
doing a podcast in a room about this big. Zeke's in here. Didn't have heat and air. We didn't have great cameras. We didn't have.
Come a long way, man.
No, this has been great. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course.
Well, if somebody's looking to buy a dog or send a dog to get trained up, how can they get in touch?
Social media would be Instagram.
What's your name on Instagram?
East Texas Retrievers.
Okay.
That's really, I don't have a website. I need to do a website, but
Yeah.
I never have. So mainly social media, through my cell phone.
There you go.
Call me up.
Nathan Wafford.
Nathan Wafford.
Or call Load Commander.
Yeah, Load Commander.
It's AKA Load Commander.
24/7.
Yeah.
You can always catch me there.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Quack Shack podcast. Subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of people listening to this on YouTube.
Yeah, dude, thank y'all for listening.
You can still listen to it on
Spotify and all
Apple
that.
Music,
all that good
so
stuff.
if you don't have the time to watch it,
but we
can still
appreciate the
listen.
thousands of people that are watching. I didn't expect
just
it to be
hit the subscribe
good.
button.
Yeah, please subscribe.
And if you don't have a YouTube channel, it's super easy. It's super easy to create a YouTube
you just put
channel.
your name.
Because you can't subscribe.
And
You
you
don't
put your email.
Yeah.
And then you put a password, and then you hit subscribe. That's
Just
it.
come on.
Three easy steps.
hit the like button.
We'll be
Thank y'all
doing-
for listening to another episode. Check out Mallard Bay. It's still hot. Summertime's still here, but season's
It's about
coming
time to
around.
start thinking about where you're going to go
You
hunting
can book
this year.
your trip, hunting or fishing trip, mallardbay.com. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace. Go check out East Texas Retrievers. Get you a dog, or at least send your dog there.
Or a cool hat or shirt or hoodie or something.
Peace.